This week we got a ridiculous amount of news from Comic-Con.
We've got some video game news, but mostly Comic-Con news.
And, is this a garbage bag?
Come on, come on! Hurry! Hurry!
Help me!
Hurry! Hey, you comfortable?
No. Are you comfortable, guys?
Today is Friday, July 26th, 2013. Welcome to Pretty Much It. Hey, I'm gonna stay a while.
You're gonna stay a while?
I'm gonna stay a while.
Wait!
And we've got quite a lot of news, I have to tell you.
Comic-Con,
because of Comic-Con news.
Comic-Con news.
And that's it. But before we get into the news, just a heads up, two things. One is that Mike and I both worked on a music video that we think you guys should check out. Click the link in the info to check it out. It's for a band called Dangerous Me. It's really good. Check it out.
I play the band.
He plays the band. Actually, the lead singer looks very much like you, so maybe that'll be a reason to go look.
It's because it's me.
Right. Why do they set these things for 60 seconds? Why not 5?
Why not 0?
Why didn't you just, why don't you just slit her throat?
Wrong foot.
He just crushed an animal.
And the other thing is that we are going on a 2-week road trip, and so it's gonna be tough to keep up with videos just while we're on the road, but we're gonna do the best we can.
Yeah.
We will be doing PMI, and we will hopefully be doing a live episode at VidCon, because we are going to VidCon. If you're going, let us know.
We're going to make the road our bitch.
Yes, that's what we're gonna do. And after we're back, we'll be back on schedule. But for now, bear with us if we miss something.
We're a little busy driving across America.
Yeah, baby.
So that's hard.
Making America our bitch.
And now let's get into the news. Starting off with
we're getting into the news.
Movie news.
We're
I guess.
all wet. We're all wet, and we're getting
So
right into
wet.
it.
All wet.
And we're getting right up in there.
Yeah.
Into news.
Let's get right up
So
in the
much.
movie news.
There's so much.
Yeah.
Okay, movie news. Before we get to the Comic-Con stuff, let's. You know how people say you got good news and bad news. What do you want first?
Bad news?
Bad news, because
Okay.
you want to end with the good news. So the bad news this week is very, very bad news.
We have talked this up before.
Yeah,
yeah,
we talked about how excited we were about this.
So stage 3 cancer.
Yes, but beyond that,
I'll see you
though,
guys in hell.
Also,
Yeah.
Sacha Baron Cohen has dropped out of the Freddie Mercury movie, the Queen biopic, whatever it is. He will no longer be playing Freddie Mercury.
I gotta say, my interest has plummeted to 0.
It's gonna plummet even more.
Absolutely.
You know why he left?
No.
Creative differences, Mike.
But do you know why?
No, no.
Okay, he wanted the movie to be rated R, hardcore, a real in-depth look at raw, real life
That's a good
Freddie Mercury, who,
Rock
by the
star,
way,
yeah.
died of AIDS.
Yeah.
So that right off the bat is pretty raw.
I'm with Sasha so far.
And the band said, no, it should be a PG family movie.
Yeah. And the band has...
PG family movie about Freddie Mercury?
About the band, I guess. I don't know what they're thinking, but
It's gonna be so boring. What is it gonna be about?
it's not gonna ever exist. They're never gonna make it.
No.
Wow.
No one's ever gonna make that
And
movie.
unfortunately, the band has the final word.
Yeah, they do. But like I said, we've got plenty of good news, so let's move on from the bad news.
The
Technically,
worst of it-
we never saw anything from the movie. It was
Yeah.
only just talked about, so I guess we're kind of back at square one.
The worst of it is over.
One more bad news.
What?
We're in a tent talking about Comic-Con.
Right, it is raining, indeed. But we are talking about what?
Comic-Con!
What?
San Diego.
Say what?
San Diego Comic-Con 2013.
Yeah, baby. Let's talk about San Diego
Yeah.
Comic-Con 2013.
A good
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Now, we usually start off with Marvel news just because for some reason that always tends to be what there's more of. We're going to start off with DC news this time. First things first, there were rumors going into the Warner Brothers panel about the main news we're going to talk about in just a second, but also about things that were not confirmed, and so I don't know if it's real or not, but I'll mention it. Flash in 2016, Justice League 2017. They thought they were going to announce it, and they didn't, so maybe it was in the pipeline, and maybe they decided to hold back. But I'm just saying, it's
They hold
there.
back too much.
It's possible. I don't know. The other news, I shouldn't say the other news. That was the other news. This is the big news. Dropped a bomb. No, don't get scared. Everyone's okay.
Okay.
Zack Snyder showed up, and he was like, yo, I got something to say.
That's all he said?
So, yeah, and then he walked off. And then he came back on, and he said, okay, we're doing another Man of Steel movie.
Man of Steel 2.
Batman's gonna be in it.
Pretty interesting.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah.
I have two very big contrasts.
Okay. What was your, you know what, I feel like there's a big difference between your initial reaction and after you thought about it. That's
Well,
for
my
me,
initial
at least.
reaction, I was like, I wasn't blown away. I was like,
Really?
I was like,
Okay.
Well, then like my initial reaction was, okay, this is the smartest possible way they could have gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point.
Because like just jumping to a Justice League movie or a new Batman movie would have been stupid.
So this is actually a genius move. I think.
Yeah. It's the smartest move they could have done, but I don't think that makes it a smart move overall. I still think it's gonna be.
They were kind of backed into a corner.
Yeah, it's like, and like they said, it's going to be loosely based on Dark Knight Returns.
Very loosely, only in the sense that it's
also
them.
they also said that it's not Superman and Batman; it's Superman versus Batman.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which I think sounds really dumb.
So hard to put on film.
Well, they're gonna. I guess they're gonna start with that, and then they're gonna probably make up by the end of it.
Well, here's the thing.
And make out, hopefully.
In comics and in cartoons, you can have Batman and Superman
Square
off in the same world. In a real life movie, in a real life setting,
it's gonna be very hard to do.
Having like Bruce Wayne fight Clark Kent.
Well, if they go the route that they did, the book worked. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but I don't know. I just don't think. I think
it is weird.
I think the two worlds are not going to collide that well.
The Dark Knight Returns is one of my favorite graphic novels. I say you should read it if you haven't. You guys.
Yeah, but
don't expect it to be exactly.
I don't
like
think it's gonna
that.
be exactly like it, but even if it draws just vague,
similarities. The one thing I was thinking after I thought about it a bit was I imagined Warner Brothers almost being like the dad in A Christmas Story when he gets the leg lamp, where like he's like, oh, it's a lamp, it's a leg lamp, this is great. So I just imagine them being like, we'll do Batman and Superman. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. You know what I mean? I feel like they almost like snapped. It was like,
because I think
Superman.
I think a fight between Superman and Batman it would just be stupid. It's like, of course, people are going to say...
Well, a physical fight, yes, but that's not how it went down.
Yeah, people are going to say, what if Batman had a robot suit, or what if Batman had kryptonite?
Yeah.
It would still look stupid to me. Like,
yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm glad to have the opportunity to see something so potentially crazy. Yeah. So I'm very, very excited to see. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But like we said, I agree with you. I do think this is where they are right now. This is the best possible choice they can make. For better or worse, I gotta say, great job. You made the right choice rather than jumping into Justice League. So good for you. And we'll see what happens. Very exciting, by the way. I don't know if you watched the footage of them announcing it.
Oh my god,
it was so cool how they read the quote. Yeah. Really, really cool.
You know what I will say?
What was the quote? I am Batman and you are Superman.
No, it's a quote from Dark Knight Returns.
I am Batman, you are Superman, and now we have to fight.
It's Batman right when he's got Superman like suffering, and he's like, I just want you to remember when you're like sitting, when you're just hanging out. I'm Batman. You remember the guy who beat you.
But now let's move on to the big Marvel news that came out of Comic-Con. Marvel, right up there, throwing punches. Yep. But as far as, big news, I think DC won. Because that news is huge.
But Marvel had its own big news of its own in a different way.
It's different, exactly.
It was more of a way that...
they're already established.
Yeah. Their big news is that it's going to make... It's going to spread like people are going to go, what? They're going to have a lot of people scratching their heads.
Now, basically, the big news is that Avengers 2 is called Avengers Age of Ultron.
Cool.
Which, right off the bat, I have to say, I'm glad it's not Avengers 2. I'm glad it's Avengers something.
I'd say the bigger news came a little bit after that, is when Joss Whedon confirmed that Ant-Man has nothing to do with this.
Right.
So that...
Now, give us a brief, for anyone that doesn't know, why does that mean anything?
One of the most important things that Ant-Man has ever done in the comics is that he creates Ultron.
By mistake, essentially, right? Not by mistake, but it becomes something.
Well, the thing is, he creates Ultron with his own brain patterns. Yep. So it's like, it's his big character thing. It's like, I built a robot that was like me, and it took...
And he's a really smart AI, and he's made out of adamantium, so he's a very, tough guy.
So it's like, his whole character was that he is like Ant-Man's son, in a way. And now he's not.
Yes, it's very interesting.
So, cool. But
let's just say Ant-Man still, Ant-Man apparently coming in Phase 3, I think it is, right? Yeah. So, that's very interesting.
But what a lot of people have theorized as to what's going to happen, and I would say, if this is really what's going to happen, this is, probably even cooler than, what Ant-Man could have done.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And I think there was some truth to it, because the footage they showed, it showed an Iron Man mask being, crushed into an Ultron mask.
And then it just showed the logo.
Yeah, and then they're saying that, Iron Man is probably the one who builds Ultron. But they're saying that Ultron is just going to be Jarvis. He puts Jarvis as an AI into Ultron, and he becomes evil, and
he's pooping.
You know what? No,
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about Ultron, but he's pretty cool. You know, I feel like that's going to be awesome for mainstream audiences. Like, it is really cool.
Yeah.
But for fans of the source material, it's going to be a big letdown because there is a lot of
Similar to the
cool
Mandarin
stuff.
situation.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
No, well, I mean,
I get
how
that.
so? I think they can pull that off pretty well.
I think it could be fun. Like,
They
if I
said-
can detach myself and just be like, oh, cool.
You know, when they announced that Thanos wasn't going to be,
We knew that.
yeah, I was like, well, what are they gonna do for Avengers? Like, this is like probably the best thing. They
Oh,
could've
right.
done.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yes, this is good, and then it'll lead up to Thanos and Guardians of the Galaxy, which
My
they showed
money
footage,
is
and I
on-
can't wait to
My
see.
money is on
Yeah.
Vin Diesel playing him.
You think Vin Diesel's gonna play him?
Absolutely.
All right.
I know people are saying the Vision, but my brain is telling me Thanos.
Hey, and your brain's never
I have
been
my
wrong before.
reasons. I don't need to get
Your
into
brain
it.
All right.
tells you a lot. Of
I don't
things.
need to get into it. It's not worth it. I kind of agree with you though.
Yeah.
But we will see Thanos in Guardians, so we'll find out soon enough. The only other thing from the Marvel-related stuff at Comic-Con I wanted to mention, by the way, is that I believe they showed the entire S.H.I.E.L.D. pilot, which is pretty cool, and people liked it a lot. They said it ties into the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a lot more ways than we expected, so that's pretty
can't
cool
believe
too.
this is
And I didn't look into it because I want to watch it, so I
Yeah.
don't want to know everything. But I will say that apparently one main character on the show, his name is Mike Peterson.
Surprise, guys! I was keeping this a secret for a long time, but I am Iron Man, and I'm going to appear on Marvel. I know they said Iron Man wasn't going to be on the
Right,
show,
right. But
the
they
main-
said what they meant is they meant Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, not yours.
Yeah.
Are you Robert Downey Jr. though?
No.
Oh.
Iron Man is now Mike Peterson.
Right. Okay, so Robert Downey
So-
Jr. was never born,
Yes.
and no, because at the same
Yeah.
time, were any of us ever born?
Michael
Yeah.
Peterson, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I like the way it sounds.
Yep.
We gotta get you a badge, a little cute little, like, I'm a little S.H.I.E.L.D. guy.
I'm a little Shield guy.
My first S.H.I.E.L.D.
You know,
badge.
at first this was like very empowering, and
And now it's a little
now
bit
you're emasculating
demeaning.
me.
My
Yeah.
first time Nick Fury lied to me. My first X-Men recruiting. My first time on the helicarrier. I got motion sickness.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Hey, Marvel and DC were not the only ones that were taking over Comic-Con. We got some stuff from Sony. We got some stuff from Fox. Let's start off with some stuff about Spider-Man. Now, this
is
was
he
actually
still-
before Comic-Con, and this is crazy news. You know who's scoring The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Oh, I can't believe it.
Hans Zimmer.
That's pretty interesting.
Isn't that
Hans
weird?
himself.
Didn't you say that like you weren't a very big fan of the
No.
score?
Yo, Hans,
yeah.
lose the horns. This ain't Superman.
Yeah.
Keep the
he
strings.
Didn't, yeah, he didn't do the score in the first
I
one.
know, but I'm saying, like, lose. Oh, wait a minute. You know who did the first one?
Who?
James Horner.
Oh, yeah.
I get it now. Cute. No more horns. Now we're gonna get Zims. Okay? Strings. It sounds like Zims and strings.
So it's just gonna be like.
Honestly,
about you
just use the
guys.
original score.
I'd prefer if it was scored by Dr. Seuss, with no trumpets, but a trumplophone and a zippity zop.
And a Zim.
And a zimzam.
No, I tell
That's
you.
Zimmer.
I tell you what. It starts out. First scene in the movie is Spider-Man, and the
Yeah.
whole Rhino thing happens. That all happens. That comes to a climax. Spider-Man, you're going to jail, and then it cuts to black,
Yeah.
and then it just goes. Spider-Man and his amazing friends. And then that's the credits. And
That's the
then-
end
I
of
just
the movie?
imagined
Yeah.
your face like slowly
Yeah.
sliding up. Spider-Man and his.
Yeah, in the multi-million-dollar movie, Jake Baldino's face just. Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
Don't forget, last week we talked about the little teaser that was released of Electro.
Yes, we
and
did.
I have to say, by the way, since then, the full suit has been revealed, like the full image. And I actually think the suit looks a little bit better than I thought because I
Yeah.
think they kind of like pumped it up on the cover of Entertainment Weekly. It looks a little cooler, and the gloves are really cool, how his fingers melted through. But the footage is still the same footage. We haven't seen anything else online, so don't worry about that. The only other thing I'll say is that apparently Mark Webb suggested that the fourth Spider-Man movie
boy.
could not just be a Spider-Man movie.
Oh,
What does
could
that
it be?
mean?
Spider-Man
Uh,
versus.
That means probably that they'll do, well, I think they're very clearly planning to do Sinister Six, right, throughout this trilogy.
Yeah, but, like, I
but
mean-
then the fourth one could maybe then be a Venom movie, you know?
Oh.
And then
my
it could
God.
turn into Venom with Spider-Man in it. Which, you know what, that could be kind of cool, because then it wouldn't be Spider-Man 4, it would be Venom. It would be a Venom movie.
Maybe
Whatever.
they would finally follow my dreams and make a Venom movie based off the current Venom comics.
Oh, with who
With,
is Venom right now?
Flash.
Flash is Venom.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I think they're going to go with, they
No.
might go with Dane DeHaan being Venom.
That would be really shitty.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's what they seem to be doing. Again, hey,
What?
remember, it's a different universe,
Wait,
so...
wait,
But
what?
that's the Spider-Man news. Pretty cool stuff. We'll see what happens
Imagine,
with
like,
that.
little-
The Hans Zimmer score is pretty
Little
interesting.
emo Venom.
So you want me to imagine an emo Spider-Man character, that's going to be tough to do. Maybe I should pop in Spider-Man 3.
Wait, like just put his hair like down to the side and give him eyeliner.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Like I said, Fox also got in on the festivities. They have
Did they throw a hoedown?
No, not at all. They got
hootenanny?
some posters for X-Men Days of Future Past. No, we got some news from Comic-Con, by the way, before we got these posters. You know, little things that I don't think are worth mentioning. It's just that, you know, they had a panel about it, whatever. It sounds great.
More about the plot came
Right,
out.
but the posters, I want to say, are absolutely worth mentioning because I think these posters are brilliant.
Yeah, they you pointed it out compared to the first movie's posters.
Well, not even just
Yeah.
compared to those, it's unbelievable. But
Yeah.
in general, these might be the coolest posters of the year so
Compared
far
to
that I've
any.
seen. These
They're
are
pretty-
really,
yeah.
really beautiful posters. Now,
You okay, Jake?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my arms. Continue.
what do you think of the posters?
And they look really cool. You know what? No. No. Hear me out.
Well,
Hear me out,
sorry, is someone
boys.
like feeding information into
Hear
your
me
ear?
out.
Oh, I'm sorry, no.
Why would you start off
Yes,
like that?
I
They look
know.
really cool. Wait a minute.
Well, what do you think of them?
Okay. The one with Michael Fassbender and Ian McKellen looks great because they match up perfectly. It looks really cool.
But the other one has
they
a
kind of
weird
look
look.
like similar people.
Yeah.
But James McAvoy and Sir Patrick Stewart look completely different, and there's like a beard in the equation. It just didn't mesh as well as the
You
one.
threw a beard into
So-
the equation.
So
Damn it.
I'm only hanging the one up in my room, not the
Okay.
other.
All right, great. I'll take the other one, I
I'm
guess.
only gonna kiss one of them and good night.
Next, we've got some news that should have been at Comic-Con, but will be apparently at D23, and this is kind of interesting. I wonder if now Disney is not going to allow the pinnacle of Comic-Con to be at Comic-Con, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Be the biggest jerks.
Kind of interesting. Well, I mean, Marvel was there, so
That's-
it's like, okay.
They already did it. Star Wars wasn't at Comic-Con.
Yeah, but, I mean, when they got real big stuff.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, this was not at Comic-Con necessarily, but it was just something that's come out. A small short list of actors that are
A tidbit.
maybe up for the role of apparently, possibly Luke
if-
Skywalker's son. And by the way, the reason I say apparently possibly is because it is from Latino Review, who are not always 100% on point.
But if this list has any truth to it, I think I might have to commit seppuku.
The short list is simply Ryan Gosling
Yeah.
and Zac Efron.
It's like they're literally at the bottom of the list of people I would pick to be in a Star Wars movie. Like the
Yeah.
last people.
It's
And you
kinda
know what?
interesting.
It sounds like Zac Efron actually has a chance because of Disney.
I would much prefer Zac Efron.
I
over
would
Ryan
too.
Gosling.
Really? But
Why?
it's like, but he can't act.
Oh,
No, he
wait a
can't.
minute.
Have you
Yeah.
seen the movie?
Have you
with
seen
the
any
boat?
movies of him in the last like 3 or 4 years? He's
Oh,
actually really good.
You mean the drama movie about his dead brother?
Yep.
Yeah,
Ghost
yeah,
Brothers.
yeah, yeah. That
Ghost
was good.
Brothers, starring-
Ghost Brother.
He looks like Luke. Kind
Both of
of.
them, I think both of them do.
Mark
One is
Hamill.
just a little older looking.
I think Ryan Go- people
I
are
would
really
take I would
into-
take Ryan Gosling as Luke's son over Zac Efron, even though I would not want Ryan Gosling as.
They're both weird. Only you know what? Only because
Can
I
you
would prefer
imagine like,
unknowns.
can you imagine Ryan Gosling playing his silent type character in a Star Wars universe? It's
Oh
like,
no, he would fit
in a
better in the
robe,
first
just like-
in the prequels.
just like in the
just be like-
in a bar in a cantina, just
Yep.
You want to fight?
and then like
Hey
he's,
kid, you want?
and then it's like he's in a speed race, like
And he's just
in-
like-
And he's just like.
yeah, in a futuristic race.
And it's like.
The interesting thing is that these are both Disney guys. You know. Well, I mean, Ryan Gosling obviously a long time
It was
ago.
in the Mickey Mouse
Yeah,
Club.
a long time ago, but he's still on their list.
Is that like Scientology? Like
Is
he's
that
on
like
the list. He can't be
nepotism?
better.
I don't know. But anyway, that's maybe real, maybe not. That might not even be true. And the last little story that we have, I figured it was worth mentioning because everyone else is going crazy. I don't care. I doubt you guys are going to care. But there's a Rocky spin-off
No, I
Coming
think this
out.
is gonna be pretty cool.
called Creed, starring Michael B. Jordan, who I like a lot, and Sly is also coming back to play like a mentor.
is it directed by Sly?
Probably not. I don't know,
Oh.
actually, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Well, then I don't care, and it's that,
I don't
that's,
really care either way.
Oh yeah,
You know, he directed every.
Did he direct all of them?
I think.
Oh, wow.
I think so.
Most of them,
Okay.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he should be totally.
Maybe he will. I
Yeah,
didn't look
yeah.
into it enough, yeah. But
I've heard it's like a passion project, and they're like really,
I mean, like,
cool about it.
I mean, I like the Rocky movies, but it's just like they ended it.
3 times.
Yeah.
They did it. With the last one, he was just like, "Oh, I own a restaurant. I look at my restaurant."
You know what?
And then he loses.
And Michael B. Jordan comes in and he's like, I want to talk to you about the Creed initiative.
Sylvester Stallone, I respect him a lot for one of the I think the Rocky movie before the newest one, which was really terrible.
The
Yeah.
4th
Like,
one.
yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, the 5th one.
or he
Because this was the 6th one, the last one.
he came out and said, "I'm sorry." I'm sorry.
So maybe he'll
about
say
these.
sorry about this one too, though. You never know.
Before it comes out.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe they shouldn't even make it if it's not going to be good.
Sorry.
But people are excited about it, so I figured I'd mention it. So let us know in the comments if you're pumped. But that's it for movie news. Now, if you're saying, why didn't you talk about Godzilla? Okay, well, what do you want to talk about? They talked about the movie. There was a panel.
We talked about it.
We didn't see the footage
last week.
and we didn't see any footage.
There's
So
not
it's
really any other big Comic-Con bombshells. Right?
Yeah, you know, the panels I'm sure were cool, but unless we actually saw something or got something, it's not really worth mentioning, I don't think.
RoboCop, I am
But-
very excited.
Which, again, we didn't see anything from, so it's irrelevant.
It sounds kind of cool.
But hey, do we have any video game news today?
Yeah, we got some.
So why don't we take a quick commercial break and then go to the video game news?
Oh,
Alright.
Commercial break.
Welcome back to Pretty Much It. Coming hot off the presses of the movie news, let's talk about a new game-based movie.
Okay.
Gran Turismo, apparently, a movie is in the works.
Isn't this the one starring Aaron Paul?
No,
That's
is
Need for
Need for
Speed.
Speed.
Oh, my apologies. This is the one with Vin Diesel.
No, this is just nothing.
it's just a racing movie. Gran Turismo has no story.
Yeah, Gran Turismo is a very good racing game, but it is very soulless. It's just kind of like light jazz music and fast cars.
Light jazz music. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what are you gonna do with that?
2 hours.
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes.
But
tops.
I mean, yeah, it's weird how it happened too. Like, someone just asked a Sony executive, like, "Hey, is there a Gran Turismo movie coming out?" And
He's like, yes, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he goes, "Yes, we're working on one," and they were like,
what? I had a bet with a friend to ask that. I dared. Ask a really stupid question.
They're gonna make that before a Crash Bandicoot movie.
like an animated or live action horrifying.
Starring Jim Carrey's Crash Bandicoot. Oh. In like makeup, kind of like the Grinch.
No, makeup like the mask. Recently in the news, Xbox One has been in the news for going back on a lot of the things that people have hated. Most recently,
Make up your mind, Xbox.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
We're
thanks a lot,
inside and there's
Obama.
still bugs.
There is bugs in this tent. Apparently, they are, well, not apparently, it's official that they are making it easier to publish for indie games. At first, it seemed like they were very hostile toward, not hostile, but
They didn't give a shit.
it wasn't
Get
a
outta
very
here.
clear plan, and it was like a whole big, long, tedious process. But now, once again,
They're
they'll be
doing
able
a
to-
180.
They'll be able to self-publish. So this is good news if you like indie games. Basically, that's
So
it.
yeah, it's actually like a pretty big deal. It's basically giving you your own development kit, which is major. That's
Yeah.
that's a lot of hardware.
Yeah.
So anyone
Software.
anyone with a little bit of a know-how,
coding mind, yeah.
a little coding know-how, they'll be able to make their own game.
Yeah, and I mean some of the really
I'm gonna make a game about friends. I'm gonna make a game about friends. I'm gonna put you guys in it. It's gonna be called the Mike and his Friends Gang. It's gonna be a good old fun time. We're all gonna.
Some of the real indie games on Xbox Live Arcade.
Not those posers.
No, not like.
There were some really shitty indie games on Xbox Live.
There's some,
yeah.
but there were some gems in there, some really creative stuff. So I'm just happy that that's still gonna be a thing,
All right.
which people were worried about. So that's cool. Moving on, we are all pretty damn familiar with Super Smash Brothers.
Damn familiar.
Okay.
Damn familiar indeed.
Well, as you know, that there is one in the works for Wii U and 3DS.
There is.
Awesome. Yes. But apparently it was announced today that they're not getting like a story battle mode, which is really kind of upsetting.
Well, then the game better be cheaper.
Yeah, the
Probably not gonna be.
I would think like the main draw of like the last one that came out on the Wii was
Yeah.
like, oh look, it's Snake and he's fighting with Mario, and like that was like the big draw. I was like, oh
Yeah.
look at the story mode, like they're all interacting, and
Yeah.
now there's none of that.
You get the little like summary, and you play through, and then you beat the bosses, and you beat the
Yeah.
hand in the end. Apparently that's not gonna be a thing. And their justification is really funny. Like when you, oh my god.
they just said doesn't matter.
Well, in the last Super Smash Bros. Game, they all had like little ending videos after you beat their thing. And the creators got all pissed off that people uploaded them to YouTube because they were like, oh, that's not fun. It's not like,
well,
exclusive
that's
to
what
the game.
every video game these days.
That's every video game now. So that's basically, they're like, we're not going to put the work in then.
What a bunch of assholes! It's like
Then make it cheaper.
they're just
If you're not putting in the work, then make it
yeah.
cheaper.
If you're not gonna put in the, they're literally saying, no, we're not gonna try that hard. Are you serious?
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's kind of
Wow.
crazy, right? Like, I mean,
Kinda crazy.
I understand a little bit because
I get it, but
does-
then make it cheaper.
It does suck that these days that back and a lot of kids watching this show, they don't understand.
You had to actually beat the game to see this shit.
To see the ending of a game, you had to beat it. You couldn't go on YouTube and look
it
up
felt
the
like
ending.
yeah, you had no.
Yeah, it was an accomplishment.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you did it. So that doesn't exist anymore. But now they're just saying, since that happens now, we're just not going to make a story.
It's not like everybody just looks them up and gets everything spoiled.
Right,
for
people
them.
that like the games will still do
And
it.
first of all, it's not the ending to The Last of Us. It's the ending to Snake's story mode in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like, are you kidding me? I do hope that maybe this means that they're going to focus more into, like, making the challenge mode type of things more awesome and just fleshing out other things. Hopefully
I
to
don't
make
know.
up for it.
I enjoyed playing the first 2 Super Smash Brothers. Could be because of my age, but the third one on the Wii did nothing for me. Just nothing. I was like, wow, this is just this flashing lights.
Well, now we're living in a world of the Avengers. We're living in a world of
Yeah.
Batman and Superman.
I don't-
Everything's all mixing together. So it's like
Yeah.
that was exciting at the time. It was like, whoa, all my characters are mixing together. But it's like that's everybody's.
You know
doing
what?
that.
There's a little bit of truth to that because back
Everything's
then
doing that.
there wasn't that many crossovers. Like
Yeah.
now that like
you could make your own crossover. Like people make
Yeah.
crossovers of things all the time on YouTube.
yeah, like
So
the
it's-
big
the
thing
draw's not there as
about
much.
Super Smash Brothers was like video game characters fighting
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now it's like you go on YouTube, look it up like a cartoon of it. you know?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out.
Yeah.
And now, if I was 10, I would have been like, Tekken and Street Fighter, what? But, now I'm used to that shit, so I'm like, okay,
Now
all
it's
right,
just
cool.
like, where is the novelty? It's not,
Yeah. So, we'll see.
well.
I still have high hopes for the game.
So the
because I
moral of
love
the
it.
story is that all the magic is gone.
Yep.
We're all gonna die.
Life's not worth living.
Our tent's gonna blow away. We're gonna die.
No, the tent's not gonna blow away. But you know what is gonna blow away?
What's gonna blow away?
The poll results.
What was the poll, anyway?
Last week's poll question was, what is your favorite comic strip? Because, of course, we were talking about Calvin and Hobbes a little bit. All right, so in third place, we had The Far Side.
Yes! I was going to say that's my number one.
Which one's that? Is that
That's
the
your
one
number
with
two,
the
I
dumb-
hope. That better be your number two.
Which one is
That
that?
was, besides Calvin and Hobbes,
Okay.
I thought that would be automatically
All right.
assumed.
What's the Far Side? Refresh me.
Far Side is a...
It's the one that was the long ways down the
They're not-
comics page.
they're usually like one panel.
Oh, I'm thinking of Non Sequitur, actually. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Far Side is...
It's like one panel.
Right. I think
Oh,
it's the wrong one.
yeah.
Now, in second place, we had Calvin and Hobbes.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, this was comic strips across any medium. Digital, print, whatever. So I'm not surprised at all by number one, Cyanide and Happiness.
Oh, okay, that's good. I would have probably said
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. It's brilliant. And as you saw on the PMI set, we had a Cyanide and Happiness guy back there.
I think they kind of got used up years ago.
Really?
I
think they're
agree.
still hilarious every day.
I agree. Like, way back when they first started, they were great, but I think they just...
Really?
Nah.
Well, I'm
it's not
pumped for
funny
their
anymore.
they did a Kickstarter that I
Oh, I mean,
supported.
like,
that
I'm
they got
saying,
like cartoons coming out.
They're all great. That they did comics every single day.
Yeah, they still do 'em.
Yeah, that's incredible. They do that, and that's great. They still have a following, but that is just not funny to me.
I like the Penny Arcade comics, but that's because I like video games. Nobody knows what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I used to read Penny Arcade, but
Yeah.
for the same reason. It's
Sometimes
just,
they're
I think-
jerks, but
Isn't that what PAX stands for?
Yeah,
Penny
that's
Arcade Expo.
their thing.
They made
yeah.
it.
So,
Yeah.
I think people know what that is then.
Nope. Nobody knows.
All right. And the only other thing I want to mention is my comic of choice, if not Calvin and Hobbes, Zitz. I really like Zitz a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, I would get the books, read the books as I was his age, so I totally related to him, like, wanting to get a car and stuff like that.
They
So
were
I
like
loved
teenagers,
Zitz.
yeah.
Now it doesn't really work as well because I'm a lot older. He's
Yeah.
perpetually 15. It's almost kind of disturbing, but
Far Side was like the greatest discovery for me. Like ever when I was a kid, I was like.
besides your sexuality.
Besides when I found out that I was incredibly
Attracted to Michael Fassbender.
Yes, when I was 6. I was in the library and I hated the library. They're like, Mike, find a book and read it. I'm like, fine. Just digging around like these all look terrible. And then I found a Far Side book. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was going to end totally
That is your
different.
leg, right?
That's my leg.
I thought you were going to find the Page Master book.
So that was last week's poll question. This week's poll question is: what was your favorite thing at Comic-Con? What was the thing that got you most excited, most pumped up out of your brain?
My favorite thing was the comics
Yeah.
at the
and
convention.
what about? I was gonna say the con really got me this year,
Yeah.
but more than usual. What about you? Does it start with Robo?
Nope, it doesn't. It starts with maybe... I don't want to say.
Oh,
I
no.
have
Oh,
such
we'll
a good
find out
time
next
this
week,
year.
everybody.
Oh.
Find out. But for now, you can vote in the poll by clicking the link down in the info and just comment with what you think, and whichever has the most likes is the one that we will pick. We'll
Do
pick the
it.
winners from that. Once again, we are working on a new poll option, but for now, this is actually working fine, so we'll just stick with it for now and see how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so vote in that poll. We'll find out what you think
Vote in
next
the
week.
poll.
Thanks for stopping by on this summertime rainy day tent edition of.
You're such a good friend. You never let us down.
No.
Yep, you guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks
Now,
for listening to us.
Keep not letting us down by not questioning where all the videos are over the next 2 weeks while we're on the road. Because remember, we're going to be on the road. We're going to be at VidCon, shooting an episode of PMI VidCon. Should be a fun hoot.
We're gonna have a
just
very
keep that in mind.
we're gonna have a very soul-searching experience between all of us. We're gonna come out of this a different
That
people.
was not your leg.
That was my penis.
All right, I'm out of here. How do I get out?
But it's raining.
Yeah, I know, but like.
You'll take your chances.
Yeah. All right.
And that's pretty much it.
Now that Jake's gone.